What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. You found us on YouTube, so make sure you do all the things that we always talk about. Sub, like it, crispy comments. I feel like we get no crispy comments anymore. And smack the bell. You don't want to miss any of the content that we put out here because we're doing it for you, the people, and we're always right. So just do it, okay? Look, I'm not kidding. Please. Anyway. Also find me on Twitter at ShyBearsPlus. You can find me on Instagram with all the dank memes on Instagram at ShyBearsPlus. You know where to find us. Click all the clicks. But what we're really here to talk about here today with my friend Jeff at +_shy is Week 17, last game of the regular season. We have the Bears at the Vikings. The Bears coming in 11-4. Vikings are 8-6-1 because they tied. Because who ties? Weak people. That's who.
Yep. You're right.
You gotta stare it out there. We're jumping right into it this week with our what to watch for. The thing that everybody has been talking about all week. I can hardly even stand listening to it anymore. But to play to win or not. Week 17, there's a lot of scenarios out there. We're going to start off with Jeff at +_shy. And he is going to go run through here and we're going to give our opinions on the big talking point of the week.
Yep. Herm Edwards must be spinning in his grave right now with the debate over, do you play to win the game? Of course you play to win the game. There is too much at stake for the Bears to rest their starters. To rest their starters and think about the first round of the playoffs is short-term loser talk, and I won't have it on Shy Bears Plus. We're playing to win the game. The reasons why is that the Bears might get a first-round bye, but more importantly, have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Let me explain how and why that's important. The Bears are 7-1 at home. They have the Bear Raid siren. Those two things are very important, all right? How is it possible that the Bears would have home field advantage throughout the playoffs? Well, if the Rams lose this week to the 49ers, which is possible, the Rams are 2-2 in their last the last four games. They've lost their last game at home, and Todd Gurley isn't playing this week. How else would the Bears have home field advantage if they're the two seed? Well, New Orleans could lose to the Cowboys if they play them in the second round, which has already happened this year, and Seattle is no picnic. So it is more important for the Bears to win this game to try to secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs, or at least get a bye and almost guarantee yourself a chance to play at home throughout the playoffs. Don't let Herm Edwards spin his grave. Win this game.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Fact check me. Anyway, yes. Believe in all those things. I'm sick of hearing about it. It doesn't really matter if who wins and who loses and who goes to prom with Johnny. I don't care. This is football. It's week 17. In my opinion, you play this week like it's a playoff week. You know why? Because you have a chance to eliminate one of your NFC North rivals, the Vikings. Vikings.
Good.
Anyway, almost slipped there. I see it a lot on Twitter. Sorry. Get them out of there. And then they won't come back to bite you, later on in the playoffs. You don't even have to worry about it. Just start now. Just start picking them all off. Everybody. 1 week at a time until you win the chip. Anyway, we've got some good mojo going. Go ahead.
I just want to say, just for the people at home, if Minnesota loses and Philadelphia loses, the Vikings still get into the playoffs. So even if the Bears beat them, there's still a chance the Vikings still make the playoffs.
Great. Then if that were to happen, and now they just beat you at home and they got a little confidence, I mean, I'd rather, let them feel no positive feelings whatsoever, zero confidence, so that we could just pound them again. But
Agreed.
But speaking of positivity, you want to keep the positive momentum going. We're on a winning streak. We've seen Mitch after a short layoff with a shoulder. No point of resting anybody. Let's keep the good things rolling. Nothing ever good happens when you half, a game or half, a play. From experience playing at a very low levels of football, I know that anytime I didn't play with full force, with my full passion, with full everything, that's when you end up getting hurt. And you don't want that to happen. And nothing ever good's from a half, from a half effort. Half effort is for losers. And you know what? Losers lose. And I don't want to lose. So let's, you know what? I also predicted the Bears to win 12 games in the regular season, so holler at your boy. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, winners win. There's no point in even scoreboard watching. Go and kick this team's butt because they're a good team and they're a tough team because you might get your butt kicked and you might get embarrassed if you don't.
Indeed.
Any other things for your what to watch for, the win or win not? Can we close that one up? I think it's crystal clear, fans, what Shy Bears Plus wants. Moving on to stats of the week with Jeff at +_Shy.
Thank you there, Robert, at Shy Bears Plus. You're talking about Minnesota being a good team. They are a good team. Minnesota is the number one team defense inside the red zone with the Bears shortly behind. The Bears lead the hot stat of the year, DVOA. The Bears are twice as good or almost twice as good in that statistic as second-place team, the Baltimore Ravens. That's called a minus 25%. That's the Bears stat there. The Vikings are number 4 at 11%. The Eagles are all the way down to 21st with 2.8%. So, who would you rather see in the playoffs, the Vikings or the Eagles? The Bears have been tied this season longer than they have been losing. It's a short margin, but they have been tied longer than they have been losing. They have the second longest amount of time that they're winning, all right, with like 571 minutes or 521, second place. No, Chiefs are number 1, all right? And then, so if the Vikings lose or if the Bears win, the Bears will go 2-0, and the Vikings or the Eagles lose, the Vikings are in, as I said earlier,
right.
Excuse me, since 1990. 16 teams have gone 2-0 against an opponent in the regular season and have played them one more time in the playoffs. That team is 11-5. This team that is 2-0 is 11-5 in the playoffs. About a 700 winning percentage. Beat the Vikings, beat them again, and then don't stop beating them. That's your stats of the week.
Absolutely love it. And people say, well, it's only, the chances are that 700 or 7 out of 10 times that you are going to beat them that third time. But, well, you beat them 100% the first 2 times. So when you're looking at that stat, I guess you can look at it both ways. That means you're just gifting them a 30% chance to go ahead and beat you in the playoffs. We have bigger goals here. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those stats of the week. Jeff, you always come with it all season long. So crispy. You love to see it. Moving on, our Shy Bears Pluses. We're going to go back and forth, and I will start off. I think with A-Rob out probably due to ribs, I think he's doubtful. I think this is your Anthony Miller step-up game. He's been absent for a couple weeks, had a good game last week, but I think that we will find him, and he will find himself some targets, and he will find himself some catches. And then also look out for Shaheen stepping up in those third and goal line situations that we've been seeing some A-Rob as that security blanket. We will also see him here too. Just a crazy, outlandish prediction that Shy Bears Plus does.
Very outlandish. Yeah, my first Shy Bears Victory Plus is a running theme from before. Play your starters. Play them all game long. Play to win the game. That's it. Short and sweet.
I love it. My next one is don't run into danger. I've been seeing people on Twitter, hey, last week we had success versus the run. Do you think this is going to be our Jordan Howard breakout game? Or should we keep feeding Jordan Howard the ball? Should he get 30 carries? No. I mean, they're two different defenses. And they both had different strengths and weaknesses. I like this defense, the front four. I don't feel like we had a ton of success running the ball. I think we had 120 yards rushing against them last time, and probably 40 to 50 of those were Mitch Trubisky running the ball. So don't force it. Know where Harrison Smith is. If he's in the box, check out of it and let's see if we can't run. If you feel that's what the read that you're going to get, don't run towards him. And that's what I would do. Don't force the run just to run because you had success last week. I think that's a loser's mentality. You have to play the team in front of you here today.
Speaking of Harrison Smith, the Bears' second victory plus is play with a grudge. Remember what happened last time you played Minnesota and a few other times previous. Minnesota is actually 6-3 in their last 9 matchups against the Bears since 2014, really. So play with a grudge. Remember Harrison Smith. All day long, we're focused, boots to asses.
Absolutely. My next one was, where's Harrison Smith? Always know where he is. Know if he's deep. I'm not throwing over there if the guy's a playmaker. I hate him. He's Dirty Harry. And you know what? If you have a shot, a clean shot, take it. I would love a little revenge for Dirty Harrison Smith. You know what? I don't want anybody getting suspended over it. I don't want it cheap, but be aware of it. If you got a shot at him, go ahead and take it. Because I don't like him. I mean, it's him and Aaron Rodgers are my probably 2 least favorite players in the division.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And my last victory plus is do the opposite of whatever scoreboard Dave says. That's always a recipe for success.
I mean, to piggyback off of that, I mean, really, like whatever he says, just do the complete opposite. His takes aren't as crispy as the guys who are on the show, and don't at me. Anyway, my final one, run to the edges. Like we said, the previous game and this game, they are strong up the middle, especially since the return of Emerson Griffin. They are tough up front. So, Gabriel maybe with the jet sweeps or the reverses, Cohen, we're getting it outside. We're talking about a bubble screen. We're talking about a tunnel screen. Use that as run plays as well. There will be opportunities to run up the middle. Maybe we'll use their aggressiveness against them with some of those trap plays that we've seen with pulling Bears. And then finally, if you get in some situations where you're in a second and long, it's an obvious pass, they are aggressive up front, so hit them with the draw. I think that Cohen had a big draw play against them last time we played them, so be aware of that. I feel like there are success in running the ball against them, but I just don't feel like pounding up the middle, with a 22 is going to be what we should be doing here, how we should be lining up. Moving on to our Vikings Victory Pluses. If I were the Vikings, I'd run the rock. They've had success lately running the rock, but kind of like the Rams and the 49ers, they're going to have trouble, but they are extremely run heavy and reliant right now, and it's probably not going to work, but you got to do it. It's what got you there, and and we'll just leave it right at that because I don't want to dig into any more of my pluses.
Whoa. All right. The Vikings, in order to win, need all the help they could get. They hope the Bears rest their starters, don't even come out to play. That's the only chance the Vikings have of picking up the dub.
Woo! Crispy as usual. I say take the pressure off of Kirk Cousins in any possible way that you can. Like I was just saying, run the ball. Whatever you got to do. Simplify it for the guy. Don't let him go ahead and lose it because we know that he is small game Cousins. He ain't the big game Cousins. If it's a winning record, very small chance of actually beating that team with Kirk Cousins at the helm. So, small game Cousins, don't make it harder for him.
Yeah, I agree. The only chance the Vikings have a win in this game is if somehow the Bears trade for Mike Glennon and substitute him into the starting lineup to rest Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, crispy hot take. I don't think it's going to happen, but he's got a super long neck or whatever.
He sure does.
Go team, coach. Anyway, my final Vikings Victory Plus was test Deion Bush. Give it a shot. If you're going to go deep to that side and see what happens. If he burns you, makes a great play, that's fine. I would double move him, especially when we're like a cover 2 situation. And get it to the sideline. Don't let the ball, into the middle of the field where you're risking danger, where you have that extra defender over there. take a small risk and go after him and see if you can get a guy who doesn't have a ton of experience playing in the league and see if you can't go ahead and get a big chunk play.
Yeah, love it. Last Vikings Victory Plus, a few years ago, they had the Metrodome, the roof caved in. Maybe if something like that happens at US Bank Stadium and the roof caves in over the Bears bench, that's another way that the Vikings have a chance to win this game.
Wow, it sounds as though the Vikings don't have a chance to beat the beloved Chicago Bears.
Not if the Bears are smart.
Well, you know what's really smart? Us and our predictions. So,
No doubt.
I'm going first. I think our D is greater than their D. So, especially,
Statistic.
they might even get to the red zone, but our D is so good at stifling teams and making sure that they only get field goals. So we're going to keep that into account here as I do my final prediction. Trubisky is a winner. Cousins is a loser. And I feel like that's going to be a big factor in this game, and you're going to see a good, composed, growing Mitch who's going to make good decisions and not turn over the ball. Because when he doesn't turn over the ball, it really gives us a chance. Obviously, turnovers are always such a big deal, but they are. They really are. You can't give NFL teams other chances. And I think Chicago is going for blood in this game, and they want to put them away because they're smart like us, like in our original takes. That being said, I got Vikings 12, Bears 17. Whoa. It's going to be a close one. I think this is going to be a battle. Honestly, they are playing for their playoff lives. It's going to be a lot closer than we think. We have a couple of good players not going to be playing in this game. You know, Eddie Jackson, A-Rob. So it's not like we're at full strength here, but I do feel like we are going for the win and going for the kill. I don't know. I didn't get that. I'm not an insider. I don't have any sources. Just the feeling that I get.
Just some fans talking football, which we've been doing successfully all year long, while both Bob and I picked the Bears to go worst and first. Bob picked them to go 12-4, which could come to fruition this week. The Bears are going to come out focused. They're going to come out dominant. They're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. I'm very excited to see how they perform in US Bank Stadium with all this crowd noise. Give me that Minnesota horn. Mitch has been focused. He's Matt Nagy's clone now. You know, clones are all the rage. So give me the Bears. They're going to win it 20-13.
Whew. Man, you got a little bit more distance, but you still think it's going to be a close game as well. And, you know, we do have a little fun here on the show, but it looks like we both feel as though this is going to be a battle. This is not going to be easy. Minnesota's a good team. Yeah. We're a better team. And especially when we don't make mistakes, we're a great team. So that's where we're at. Do you have any other final comments?
No, I foresee this kind of being like a Green Bay game or even a San Francisco game. It's close. The Bears keep control throughout. They win the time of possession. Key plays. Minnesota doesn't do enough to come back. You know, Hicks, I see Hicks really shining here and coming up with like a big sack, forced fumble, touchdown. They're going to do some awesome celebration, and then it's going to be the Bears Super Bowl marching right into Atlanta for the Super Bowl.
You love to see it. I am Robert at Shy Bears Plus. Like I said, you found us on YouTube. Subscribe, like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends. Crispy comments whenever you want, and if you haven't hit the bell, I still don't know what you're waiting for. Just do it. It's that easy. It's that easy, folks. At Shy Bears Plus on Twitter, Dank Beams, So Crispy on Instagram. Who are you? And tell us where we're going.
Excuse me, I don't know if I just blew some snot out my nose or not, but hey, it worked for Akeem Hicks. So just like the Vikings playoff hopes on Sunday, that's all she wrote.